For joining me tonight at 5, I'm Erin Christie. Our top story, the state of Oklahoma has killed a man on death row for the first time this year. Michael Dewayne Smith, who was on death row, died by lethal injection at 10:20 this morning. It happened at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAlester. 2 News Oklahoma senior reporter Justin Ayer witnessed the execution and breaks down what happened.
While viewing the execution, Smith was asked if he had any last words, and he said, quote, "Nah, I'm good." He then turned to the chaplain and said, "Give my love to my family." The family of Michael Smith's 2 victims chose not to speak, but Attorney General Gentner Drummond read aloud a statement from them.
From the family of Janet Denise Nisi Miller Moore, honor and glory to the Most High, as this is the day the Lord has made. I also have a statement from the family of Sharath Pularu. Sharath was the life of our family.
Smith was 40 years old. He was convicted in Oklahoma County on 2 counts of first-degree murder on October 14, 2003, for the 2002 murders of Janet Moore and Sharath Pularu. Smith claimed he didn't remember the killing since he was on drugs at the time, but the courts say he gave a detailed police confession. 3 chemicals were used in his execution: medalazam, which makes you unconscious, followed by vecuronium bromide, which stops your breathing, and potassium chloride, which stops the heart. Smith was unconscious at 10:15 and died 5 minutes later.
I think during the process early on, he was nervous, and I think that was reflective in some of his movement with his feet and with his arms through the first phase of the drug protocol.
Prison staff say they noticed that Smith had some sleep apnea, which could have contributed to some of his heavy breathing when they administered that first chemical. In McAlester, Justin Ayer, 2 News, Oklahoma.
What up, everyone? Thank you all for coming back to my channel. As always, I do appreciate it. So, I want to talk a little bit about the man Michael Smith. He was just executed this morning, dead at approximately 10:20 a.m. So, I woke up this morning, wasn't feeling mentally, I was just, I had a lot on my mind, just thinking about the future, the past, the present, you know, just kind of having some wishes, things that I wish were different, things that I wish I could accomplish. Nothing new for me, really. But anyway, I opened up the YouTube app, and a video similar to this one was recommended to me. And when I watched the video, I was listening, and there was a little bit of backstory. This Michael Smith guy, recently he went before a board for clemency, and he was literally crying, saying he didn't do this and that he was under the influence of drugs, PCP specifically, either when he committed, or I think it was when he confessed, he was saying, and that his confession was not, he confessed kind of in a state where he wasn't really in his right mind, and he also was trying to say that he has some sort of mental disability, basically to where he was stupid, or just IQ was too low to really understand things or something like that. And, you know, he had I know for sure his sister also was petitioning for him to get just life, to be taken off death row. And I think they also said that his lawyer had basically told him and his family that, listen, there's nothing else that I can do. You're basically gonna have to accept your fate. And so listening to that, it's just, for me, it's all about perspective. I heard that and I was like, wow. When you think that you have it bad, there's some person out there, some groups of people that have it worse. They are in a worse situation than you, than I would ever be in. And I'm not gonna say it made me feel better in the sense that he was about to die or anything, but it just let me know that things could be worse. And it allowed me to really embrace the present and see that things are pretty good, all things considered. Of course, we all wish that things would be better. But looking at his situation, just understanding, and I mean, I got up, it was maybe 8 in the morning, and this guy, I mean, just can imagine sitting in a cell, literally understanding that at 10 a.m. he is going to be executed, strapped down, and be preparing to die. This is his last day. He was fully aware of that. I can't imagine having that reality, just knowing that, okay, in a couple hours I'm gonna be dead. And you know, and say 9 o'clock, then he knew he had his final hour. Can you imagine that? Your final hour. What would you do? What would you be thinking about in your final hour? Now, granted, you're sitting in a prison, so it's not like you can say, okay, my final hour, I'm gonna, you know, ski down Mount Everest or whatever. I'm gonna bungee jump. I'm gonna do anything like that. No, you're sitting there, and the rest of the prison staff, they're going about their business, getting you situated. You know that they're going to get you situated to die, and then they're going to keep on living. This day is, for them, it's preparation to eliminate you. That's what this guy, that's what his reality was. And I was just like, wow, man, things could really be worse. Things could. Now, I don't say that, I didn't go into that whole riff just to for sympathy for him. The guy killed 2 people senselessly, horrifically, so he definitely deserved it. Now, you know, we can debate whether or not he deserved death or just life in prison, but he was definitely where he should have been. And it's funny because his crime occurred in the year 2002. That was the same year that I originally got locked up. And he was 40 years old, same age as me. It was crazy. But he killed 2 people and he never got out. He got sentenced to death. And this was the end for him. A little bit more backstory. I may as well go into it. Apparently he was in some gang, and one of his gang associates got killed by a store clerk that him and the guy was trying to rob. And so he went to one lady's house looking for her son to kill the son. I guess the son was going to be a witness in some crime, and he killed the lady because the son wasn't there, I guess. And then he went to the store where the guy, his gang buddy, got killed, and he killed the clerk. Now, I'm not sure if he killed the right clerk, though. I could be mistaken about that. But he killed 2 people unjustified, and then he even confessed to it. So that was pretty much case closed. Now he tried to turn back around later and say, well, I was high on PCP. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was a false confession. This here, that there, and the third, and they were not hearing it. And I mean, of course he was guilty. Come on, he did not confess to that. Wrongfully, he confessed because he did it. Now, obviously, there are times where false confessions are given, but no, he did it, and this is what happened to him. But this video, I just really wanted to give the perspective that, you know, when you're having a day and you're feeling like this day is really fucked up, this is a bad day for me. Not that you necessarily need to compare yourself to someone who is on death row, because yeah, they deserve that. But just looking at it like, okay, someone whether they put themselves in that position or not. For example, this guy put himself in this position. Some people don't put themselves in the position, and it happens. For example, today in Fort Lauderdale, there was a crane accident where a crane malfunctioned, fell on the car of a person driving, killing him. Okay? Our days could be worse. Our days could be worse, you know. Rest in peace to that person who got killed by that crane accident. That's very sad. Or what recently happened, the Baltimore bridge collapse. I heard where a truck was going over and the truck fell into the water. And a couple days later, they pulled the truck out, 2 bodies in there. Shit could be worse. That's all I'm saying. But I just kind of wanted to give a reaction to this guy's situation from that perspective, just looking at it like, well, at the end of the day, things could be worse. That's basically what I'm getting at, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. Just keep in mind, things could be worse. Most of us, when we're having a bad day, it may be because of something we did or something we didn't do that just kind of fell upon us, like a car accident or maybe getting laid off from a job, a breakup, whatever. But there's always someone who would more than likely happily trade places with the fucked up day we're having, because theirs is way more fucked up. So that being said, once again, thank you all for coming back to my channel, listening to me. I do appreciate it. I know you could be doing so many other things, so you're taking your time to listen to me. I do appreciate that. As always, everyone, we have to stay safe so that we can stay free.